Hello, my name is Brandon Boren, and my PechaKucha is about what exactly is Pathfinder role-playing game. First off, I am going to tell you what Pathfinder role-playing game is not. There are some common misconceptions. The first one here is Pathfinder the movie. Now, the Pathfinder role-playing game is definitely not the same as the Pathfinder movie. The Pathfinder movie is about some brave warrior that goes on a journey for his clan in a different world. Pathfinder role playing game is also not this. This is LARPing. The Pathfinder role playing game usually doesn't consist of live action going out and, swinging foam swords at each other. It's a little bit more paper based, paper and pen and dice. Pathfinder role-playing game is also not Dungeons and Dragons, which is a very common misconception. Dungeons and Dragons came out before Pathfinder, and Pathfinder is a derivative of it. It's a different group of people that changed it a little bit. Pathfinder is a collection of books, as shown here, that has a bunch of sets of rules in it on how to play the game, and a bunch of monsters for players and for the person that is controlling the game. There are many, as you can see here. Pathfinder is a d20 based system, meaning that most of the time you're rolling dice, you're going to roll a d20, but you also roll other dice, as shown in this picture, like d12s, d8s, and d6s. There's a lot of dice rolling involved in the game. It's pen and paper for a reason. Sometimes Pathfinder is played on a game mat, like shown here, with little miniatures, and this is just an example of the whole pen and paper thing with the dice. You have a lot of writing and a lot of rolling to do in this game. Pathfinder has many different monsters. This is just a small selection of what they have. They're some of the most common ones, like orcs and goblins, zombies, giant insects, ghouls, lots of stuff for you to fight against. Pathfinder has these little cutouts that you put in little stands that count as the miniatures for the monsters if you're going to use a playmat. That way you know their position, where they are on the map. It's easier to keep track rather than just having to use your imagination with the little cutouts that Pathfinder has. They're very helpful. To start off with, you have this character sheet for Pathfinder. This is how you create your character, what you want it to be. It may seem confusing to somebody just glancing at it, but it's actually pretty easy to learn, and this is your starting point in Pathfinder role-playing game. You start off by picking a race, like dwarves to elves to humans to half-orcs. This is your starting point for most characters. Each of the races has their own benefits, and most people like to choose humans just because they're easy to play. Then you choose your class, as shown here. There are many, many different classes in Pathfinder. These are just several of the basic and most used. We've got everything from paladins to monks to fighters to clerics to druids. You think about it and it's probably there. Then once you've got your race and class decided, you pick your weapons. And there's a whole slew of weapons, everything from old medieval type weapons to feudal Japan type weapons. There aren't any feudal on here, but this is the main book, weapons. Pathfinder also has a Mythic Adventures, which is a epic level type of gaming format where you take on things that normally wouldn't be taken on by average everyday adventurers. This is for the true heroes of legend, and it's not very commonly used. Now, what does Pathfinder do for me? The reason that I picked this is Pathfinder helps me be imaginative. It opens my imagination and really gets all those creative juices flowing for me. This is why I like it. That's what it is to me. Pathfinder really helps me with my creativity. Like Albert Einstein says in this quote, creativity is contagious, pass it on. Pathfinder is creativity to me. Making your own worlds and creating characters and playing them, not being yourself. You can't get more creative than that, really. Pathfinder is also a social outlet. This is me and a friend playing with a couple of our other friends that are not on camera. Um, Pathfinder helps me be social. It is a gathering and it gets me around other people. It is not antisocial. Pathfinder also helps with critical thinking. There's a lot of times when you have to make split-second decisions in Pathfinder because, yeah, you may not be in the world, but if you're trying to roleplay it right, then if you have a knife at your throat, then you have to think quickly, and that helps energize your mind. Pathfinder is also a game of math. You have to roll lots of dice, so you need to know probabilities and stuff like that to say, all right, well, I've got to roll this many times. What's the chance of taking that success? And that ties into the critical thinking. You have to figure out if it's worth the risk. Well, lastly, Pathfinder is fun. It is a way to enjoy everyday living. It's an outlet. It's something to help you out with the everyday problems that you have.